Hello everyone, and welcome back to 4KB Shorts Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program with Kerbal Space Adventures. We have started our grand and glorious delving into the science tech tree. And so far we've gotten suborbital flight, we've gotten a little bit of science, we've gotten some pretty good stuff. But what we really need is some really good stuff. And in order to do that, what we need to do is we need to fly north or south. We can, pick one. But what we need to do is we need to fly in a direction that what we're going to do is we're going to scan Kerbin, basically, is what you do. You take a Kerbal up, and you have him fly about a little bit, and you scan Kerbin. Now, we can do this for a couple of days, I think. Oh, no, probably not for a couple of days. We still don't have the ability to generate power. That's a big issue. Right now, all we really have, well... No, we do have these. Okay, we have a couple of caps. Now, if you guys remember, I told you that capacitors are kind of cool, right? Like, capacitors are cool. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of jam ourselves up with a little bit of extra power just so we can get a long flight going. Now, this is not going to be a perfect flight, but it's going to be a pretty long flight. And so what we're going to do is that's, what, 450 batteries? That's pretty good. What we want to do is we want to put a couple of health on here. Now that's 80 days worth of food, water, and oxygen. That's a lot more than what we need, but we only have 1 day in here. Other than that, well, we do have these little guys. Let's see, this is 80 days, 10 days. 10 days is a goodly time, so we'll put some 10 days. We're not going to put it on right now, but we're going to keep it off to the side right over there, so that we have it when we need it. We have our parachute. That's all we need on top. So yeah, we need to put something underneath. So what we're going to do is we're going to head north, or again, north or south, depending. And we're going to fly about in space, and we're going to go, well, that's kind of really silly. I mean, that's what you're always going to do, is fly about in space. It's always going to fly about in space. I don't know, I'm trying to think while I'm trying to make a ship at the same time. I'm like, what am I doing, man? We are going to fly about in space. That is going to be our thing. And along with that, what we're going to do is we're going transmitting data. Nah, we won't transmit data. We gotta save our power, right? Right, we gotta save our power. So we're gonna save our power by not transmitting, but what we are going to do is we're going to take a couple of these. I know that taking 2 goo canisters is kind of pointless, but the asymmetry of only... Sorry, I was looking at this. It looks like a lady with hair curlers. That's what I'm looking at right there. Anyway, the asymmetry of only taking 1 canister drives me nutsy, so taking 2 is probably better. We're also going to take this little guy, and we're going to put him here, and that's going to be our 80 days worth of food, or 10 days, excuse me, worth of food, water, oxygen. That's all we need out of that. We have our nose cones, we have our connectors. Yeah, you know what, we probably don't need that connector per se. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take, not you, but you. No, come here. I need you. You're my friend. Alright, so there you go. So that's going to be our final ship, the last ship, part, pieces, whatever, that we take down. And then underneath that, we're going to put, it's not going to be an asparagus system, because unfortunately we still can't build an asparagus system, but we can build something close to it. And we should have enough delta V to get into a circularized orbit if we're very, very, very good at what we do. And of course, we are always very good at what we do. Now, did we get a... We did not. We do not have any way to control this thing on flight. That may become a little bit of an issue if we put too much power into the lower section of this craft. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful about that. We do not want the craft to flip over, which tends to happen from time to time if you're not careful. Okay, we're gonna do a full 6. We're going to do full 6s. That's right. 6 on, 6 off. Full 6s. And then we're going to put that there. Right? Right. Alright. Now, we've already had a ship that was previously built. We do know that. We've built a ship already, and it worked okay. This one is a rebuild. Well, I'm not 100% sure this is a good idea. This one is a rebuild. We're rebuilding it or trying to build it better. And I think we're going to do it this way. This is going to be dangerous. We may... Bad things may happen. Bad things may happen with this design. I don't know. It may, it may not. We're going to, of course, call this the KSA Moho 3 because it is the 3rd rendition of the Moho series class shuttle ship thing. 6 of those should lift us fine. The 3rd one, let's see, get rid of all those. Put that there. This one goes here. That's the right connector there. Okay, so that's pretty good. So yeah, that should be okay. Oh wait, here's our delta V. So we had 2.81 at 5.75 max. Okay, 1.8 to 3.53 max, and that gives us 5,058 delta V, and then we have 997 to come back down with. Yeah, we should be able to get into orbit with that, no problem. That should be wonderful, provided that the ship does not roll over, which it may. But if we put all this weight here in the center, then the top weight and bottom weight should... Yep, the force of the top and bottom should be fine. So, I hope, I don't know. Bad things may happen. And next thing, I guess that's everything. We have batteries, lots and lots and lots of, not tons of batteries, but, you know, a few batteries here and there. We have enough batteries. I guess we could take more. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could just take a few more batteries. Be all like, bam. And just be like maxed out on batteries forever. You know, it's better to have it and not need it, right? So yeah, we're going to take a ton more batteries. We have, oh wait, were we going to do batteries or were we going to do, you know what? Let's see. Let us see. The Z100 rechargeable battery pack is mass of 0.005. 0.0, same mass, okay. It has the CAP 101 is a radial attached discharge capacitor. Though slow to charge up, when it's triggered, it rapidly deposits and stores charge into electrical charge banks. How much? Carries 800 stored charge. Really? Really? Yeah, man, we could probably go to the moon with this much battery power. Look at that. That's pretty beastly right there. Now that may seem strange to you, but I kind of like it. I like the idea. Now, what that means is we have like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's 6 here. That's 10,000 units of power. Really? Well, that's okay. Plus we have these, we can discharge these individually. So they come charged, which is great. They arrive charged, as you can see. 100% power. And then if we run out of power, we can discharge one. And it pumps it all into the batteries. It's really wicked. It'll be fun to show it off. There's really no reason not to. Or, you know, no reason other than to show it off. But there's really no... We don't have any docking clamps, launch clamps, do we? We do not. Alright, so this may be dangerous. I don't know. We don't know. Let's go ahead and select our pilot for today. Now, I was able to get everyone who recently requested to be added to the crew. That was really fun. I was able to get everybody who wanted to be added all the way down to the bottom. Crew manifest is not working for me. It was updated for 23.5. It does not work for me. I do not know why. It does not show up here, and there's no way to use it unless it's up here in the toolbar. And I reinstalled the new one, and I installed it 2 or 3 times, restarted several times. Does not show up in the toolbar for me. Don't know why. And so because of that, I had to go through and do it manually. So you guys are all added manually because I'm awesome. And let's see, who's going to be our first orbital person? Ooh, orbital person. Ooh, okay, well, there's too many of you to do this, like, democratically, so we're going to randomize. So let's go. Feels like gaming. Well, if you feel like gaming, we feel like flying. Alright, so we're going to feel like flying, and we're going to head out into the world. So let us go ahead and do that. And I will see you guys out there on the launch pad, hopefully with this thing standing straight up and down rather than falling over. Super duper important. So see you guys out there. Alright everybody, we're out on the launch pad, and it looks to me like we're at least standing up for now. Now without further ado, we will just go for the safety sake of this teeny tiny rocket and this teeny tiny engine not falling over. So let's go ahead and throttle up, and then we will ignite, and away we go. Now, because these little engines push so hard, and they are not thrust vectored engines, we have to be very, very cautious, if only because we don't want the whole thing tipping over if we try to tilt the ship, which does tend to happen a little bit. We try to tilt the ship and everything just falls right over and goes completely. So we're going to try to avoid that as much as possible. Alright, little buddy. Come on, gaming, you can do it. Now, of course, we are going into a polar orbit, either north or south. Most likely we will go north. That's how I usually turn. Whichever way, it doesn't matter. We're not looking for any kind of particular intercept. This is the first thing we will be putting into orbit, even if it's only temporary. Alright, so we're at 3,000. Come on, we can do this. We're coming up on the first cloud layer. Ooh, dark days. Well, I don't know, the cloud layer is not too bad. So it looks like our first cloud layer is at about 5,000 meters. Not sure how accurate that is, but whatever. You know, we're going, ooh. Going through it makes it look really weird. Makes it look like you're flying sideways when you're not. Gonna have to get used to that. Alright, so we're up at 7,000. Pretty nice. It's a very nice view up here. It's kind of scary once the ground disappears. You're like, I don't know what's down there anymore, man. Alright, we're at 9,000. Let's go ahead and start tilting. And, ooh, a little tough. We're going to start tilting over a little bit. Okay, we're going to throttle up. There we go. Okay, we're not falling over too badly. I like that. Now we won't be going directly polar because we would have to adjust a little bit for that. This is, of course, it's not really magnetic pole. You are heading straight north, like pole on the surface, but if you go to orbit, you're actually off a little bit because of the rotation of the planet. So it's just something you have to cope with. Since we're not intercepting anything, we don't have to worry about that again. So let's go ahead and ditch those and light that one up, and let's go ahead and throttle that all the way up because we just lost a lot of our speed. But that was pretty nice. That was a really nice takeoff. No fuss, no muss, no crash. Good to go. We're at 50,000 meters on our apoapsis. We don't have to go very high. We can go to about 70,000 without too much difficulty. I think it'll bring us down a little bit to create a more efficient burn profile. I always tend to burn high. I found out that I tend to burn high when it comes to doing an orbital burn. I always tend to burn up and then arc over, so it's very jagged. You can see my mouse pointing. It's a very jagged burn profile, and so I end up wasting a lot of delta V, as you can see, because I turn off my engines because I don't want to go any higher. And that becomes a problem. In order to get to 70,000, what you want is you want most of your horizontal speed to be acquired as you reach your apoapsis, so you never stop burning. All this time I've been burning very inefficiently, and I find that hilarious. Alright, so let's take a look at our resources here. We have, what? Liquid fuel, yep. So 4,800, okay, so it wasn't 10,000. 4,800 battery power, that's a lot of battery power. We have 11 days worth of food, water, and oxygen, so we have a lot of time we can spend up in space. We don't need to spend too much of that time up here, but we have a lot of time we can spend up in space. Feels like gaming is extremely excited about everything that's currently happening right now. That's really great. We can probably do some science up here while we're here. The crew report. Hey! Crew report from Kerbin's upper atmosphere. You record the crew's assessment about the situation. 3.5 science. We will keep that. Apparently we hadn't gotten that before. Alright, what else do we have? We have... Well, we're not going to do an EVA report or anything like that, so we're just going to kind of keep going. And once we get... It's very pretty. It's very pretty up here. I love it. 74. Almost there. 75. I guess I could start burning early, because I don't know how much push this little engine has, and I don't want to I do not wish to get us stranded up here, so okay, keep going. Yeah, maybe not as much of push as I thought we had, but we're okay. We're okay. We only need about 1,000 more delta V, and I think, well, I don't even think we have it. We have it regardless of anything else, so there we go. It's a nice burn. Yeah, so it's a very inefficient burn when you do that, when you have to shut off your engines. You do want your engines burning constantly, and I've known that for a while, but I don't have... I guess I don't have the bravery level that you require in order to perform such an adequate or good burn like that. To burn sideways so low in the atmosphere makes me very nervous. Okay, it looks like we're coming up on 80,000. Oops, 66 by 81. So we're still going up a little bit. I very much wish to tilt our camera. I do not like that the camera does that. So we are technically almost in orbit, not exactly in orbit. As you can see, our periapsis is a bit high and our apoapsis is a bit the other way around. Our apoapsis is a bit high, our periapsis is a bit low. So I'm going to try to burn us down a little bit. 82 by 73, that's fine. So we're at 82 kilometers by 73 kilometers. Feels like gaming is now the first Kerbal in orbit around Kerbin, and I'm sure his little plaque will mention that lovingly. And I love these little lights, look at that little blue LED lights, so very pretty. So very pretty. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn off all this stuff because we don't need it right now. We may need it later, but for the moment we do not. For whatever reason, our SAS is fighting us really bad. Let's fix that. Alright, so gaming. Let's go ahead and do some science, shall we? Let's observe our mystery goo. And I think we won't get much science out of this. So yeah, the goo seems to have clumped into a sphere. It also appears to have become brittle. That's fine. I guess we can... I guess we can keep it for now. Because of course we can reset it later. So we'll keep that. What about our materials bay? 25 science, wow, okay. The microgravity has greatly affected the growth of the crystalline structures. Loose objects are also flying around the bay in a very messy but fascinating way. Oh, fascinating indeed. Alright, so now we already have EVA reports over the ocean. And we have EVA reports over most parts of Kerbin. So there's not really a reason to get EVA reports for everything that we have here. Well, not everything. Well, feels like gaming can EVA. Let's go ahead and let him out. If nothing else, let's let him out. Alright, so let's go ahead and RCS up, and he'll flop about like a little fish for a minute. There you go. Oop, oop, oop. You're good. Now, I did recently find that the spacebar, when you don't have Kerbal points automatically to the facing camera, if you use your spacebar, it's how you get him to turn away from the camera. So it's very interesting. I did not realize you could do that. So now I have a way to turn our Kerbal towards the direction that we want when we want. All right, nice. So he's up here, he's hanging out. Nice. Oh wow, this is so nice with the clouds out there. Ah, wow, look at that. EVA report from space above Kerbals Highlands. You've recorded your observations about the situation. That's interesting that... Really? We're over the Highlands? How do we even see that? I can't see anything. It's all cloudy down there. I don't even know where we're at. Oh, no, okay, there's land. Oh, the texture, the cloud texture is in the way. It's in the way of our view, so we're over land, but we can't tell that we're over land. That's going to make this really fun to try to get all the EVA science and everything. So we apparently got some Highland science out of that. That was nice. Didn't even know we could do that. Let's go ahead and store some science really quick. There you go, little buddy. Alright, store that. We'll take all the experiments out and then store them back up, and that way we can do a crew report if we need. So yeah, we are in fact over land. It's just we're over a very, very, very heavy cloud base, so it's not like we can say, oh, we're over this land or over that land. So yeah, we have above Kerbals Highlands again. So that's going to be intensely interesting to have that. I don't know why, but being over Kerbin when it has clouds is just so interesting. It's just like everything's brighter because you're looking down and you see all these really bright white clouds. So everything's really bright instead of being dark like it used to be. It's so much better. It really is so much better. There's no way around that. All right, so I'm losing control of gaming because he's having a super exciting time. So I gotta be very, very careful about that. All right, so what I think is going to happen is I'm probably gonna have to do this off camera a little bit because we could just spin around and around and around and around for hours. Well, in-game hours really. But what I think we'll do is, Kerbin's Grasslands. What I think I'll do is I'll just go around, and as we pass over each area, I will do a bunch of EVA reports, and then what we'll most likely do is we'll come back when it's time to come back down, because apart from just hanging out outside here and floating around and taking EVA readings, there's really no reason to keep you guys on cam. So for now, hey, Kerbal Shores, nice. EVA report for Kerbal Shores. You recorded your observations about the situation. Keep. All right. So for now, we're gonna go ahead and cut here, and then I will see you guys when we are ready to go. When we are ready to go back inside, or back downstairs, I guess you can say. So I'll see you guys in just a minute. Alright everybody, here we are. We've taken about 2 or 3 passes around Kerbin, and I've acquired as much EVA data as I could, just by having gaming get out, get back in, get out, get back in. It's very boring. I mean, I can keep it on cam, but it really is very boring to watch. As you can see below us, we have the Kerbal city lights. I'm not a big fan of city lights, if only because it looks like what cities would look like from a much higher up distance than 70 kilometers or even 80 kilometers. And so what you end up with is you end up with this kind of just a glow around the edges of like the continents and stuff, and it looks okay. I forgot to take it out. I may just leave it in. It doesn't seem to be doing that much to performance, but I'm just really not a big fan of it, personally. But what we're doing here is we're coming up on our return entry burn. Now, this burn is going to keep us, or is going to land us in the desert. I've decided to go for a desert landing. Odd, considering it is probably better, I suppose, from this point to do a polar landing, but we're gonna have to go back to the poles anyway to take like science gear and stuff like that if we're gonna do polar stuff. So I figured that landing in the desert would just be a great way to get some desert EVA, some desert stuff, because strangely enough, hitting the desert from the KSC, at least for me, is not as easy as you'd think it would be. It's honestly easier just to hit one of the poles than it is to hit the desert from the KSC, so I find that entertaining. But as you can see, we're coming up on the South Pole now, so we'll be coming up from the south and then heading to the north. Our orbit was off by about, I think, about almost 45 degrees, honestly. Oh, check it out. Check it out. You can see it from here. Look at that. Those green lines, if you can see them, of course. Those green lines, that's the aurora from the sun. The sun, I don't know how the aurora texture is put onto the system, like put onto Kerbin, but it shows up as purple and green. So there you go. We have some aurora going on there. We can see. I didn't see that the last 2 or 3 passes, so it must be just for this area or just happened to pass over. I'm not sure which. Very, very pretty though. Another pretty-esque thing added by all the texture add-ons and things like that I acquired for this particular season of Kerbal Space Adventures. Now we only need 138.4 meters per second to slow us down, and that's sort of a underestimate, I think. But it should be enough to get us into the atmosphere. And since we have this teeny tiny engine left over, we could probably use that to slow us down even more. So we're going to start our burn. Yeah, we're just going to slow ourselves down a little bit. May not even run out of fuel in this big old tank, I don't think. No, not really. Alright, so we did it. About did it. It's not perfect, but yeah. Okay, debate on whether or not to release that stage. I think maybe we should. Probably be the best bet. Well, we'll wait. We'll wait. Let's go ahead and speed up time a little bit until we come back down. So we're going to start descending. That should take us over the ocean. It was really odd about this particular flight is I thought we had a lot more EVA. Like I thought we had like water EVA and all sorts of stuff. We missed out on a lot of EVAs that I thought we already had, and it might be because I was doing something else in another profile, and they were both basically in tandem. Both flights were basically in tandem, and so because of that, I think I did stuff in the other playthrough that I didn't do in this one, and for whatever reason, my brain lied to me and said I did. So it's hard to say. Now, we did miss out on this little guy, unfortunately. I always forget that you can't, even if we were to observe the goo, you can't have more than one mystery goo container result inside your capsule anyway, so it'd be kind of pointless to take that, so we're not going to. But I think now would be a wonderful time to, let's just go ahead and get rid of that. Gonna make me a little nervous if we don't. And kind of want to work with the capsule a little bit, maybe slow us down manually. But we are coming in over the ocean, and then we should see the desert. But then again, this is one very large texture that makes it difficult to know exactly where you are, but this should be right. According to the map, this is right, but I'm not 100%. Alright. Oh, there's an island. I see an island. So we are still over the ocean. The mountainous regions of the desert should start appearing in front of us. Looks like the debris, yep, the debris has started to spin slightly, probably from the ejection force. It'll eventually crash back down. So far we've left space clean. I'd like to try to leave space as clean as possible, but it's not super duper important. Who knows, we may try once again to go spearfishing for garbage out in space. I always find that hilariously fun to try. Really kind of stupid, honestly, but hilariously fun to try regardless. Alright, how's our temperature doing? We're starting to heat up a little bit. Negative 84 degrees Celsius. Alright, so we're going to start heating up a teeny tiny bit. What do we got for battery power? 45? Let's go ahead and up the amount of battery power we have in our main capsule. There we go. You know, we're only out here for like an hour and 33 minutes. We didn't even need this canister. It's hilarious. I always think that we're going to be out here so much longer than we really are. But it's always better to over-prepare than to under-prepare. I mean, honestly, it really is. Okay, well, I think we're coming up on desert now, so we'll go ahead and get rid of this little guy. Bye-bye. And from now on, we will be, well, in the mercy of gravity, I suppose. And worst comes to worst, we made a terabad mistake, and we go back out into space, and gaming floats around until we come back around and try again. I'm pretty sure that we're absolutely fine, but these ones are going to take a little while to fall on their own accord. It's very peaceful out here. With all these clouds below us and the sun above us. It's almost like a brand new game. In all honesty, it's almost like a brand new game. You add all these enhancements on here, and like everything feels differently. And I think it's the moon. The moon texture really bugs me because it's just so gray. I mean, I like the dark side and everything, but the texture itself is just so dull flat, and it's just like, whatever. Alright, so there's land. Now, hopefully we hit the desert. We were coming up at about, like I said, about a 45-degree angle, but the planet has been spinning below us. We may be just off center of the desert itself. We might get lucky. If nothing else, maybe we'll get a soil sample or something from the highlands, or maybe even the mountains. I don't know. It's hard to land on mountains in Kerbal as well. Not that you'd want to. I mean, what kind of guy's like, hey, let's go to space, and when we come back down, let's land on a mountain? Seems like a grand idea to me. I don't think so. Ooh, there's the fire. Alright. Gaming is so stoked. Look at him. He's just like, yeah, the fire is cool. The fire's cool. Although the fire is coming in at a slightly odd angle in comparison to the capsule itself. But you know what? We're okay with it. As long as nothing catches fire and nobody dies, we are okay with it. You know, at this point we've had so much practice coming down. Okay, so the desert appears to be over there, I guess. Missed the desert by a couple 100 kilometers, I suppose. Why do I feel like I missed... I feel like I'm on the wrong side of the planet suddenly. Okay, well, oh well. Apparently I misjudged where the desert was. I thought this was desert. The map said it was desert, but apparently either the planet was rotating faster than we were, or something else, because I think the desert's over there. So we may have missed it. We are coming down on something steep, I think. Oh man, it's really hard to see where you're coming down with all these clouds. But we did make it in. We did make it in. We've had so much practice coming in, you know, that it's really interesting because we have the ablative shielding. It's like, you know, as long as you're not coming down at like a 90-degree angle, you're not going to worry about, you know, blowing up your rocket or anything. Alright. Wow, this is kind of creepy. You got this cloud covering it, and you got the mountains over there, and I can see the mountains like disappearing under the clouds. Am I going to hit a mountain? Am I going to hit a mountain? You don't even know if you're going to come through this cloud base and there's going to be a mountain right there. It's ready to smack you in the head. Honestly, looks like there is, so I think we will pop our parachute for safety's sake. We'll hope for the best. So scary, man. Alright, we might get something else. Maybe we'll get Highlands data or something. And there we go through the clouds. Oh, it would be so awesome to land on, like, Jewel and have this. Or anything like this. Oh, there you go, pass through the cloud cover, and, well, it looks like the mountain tops. No, okay, yeah, they're right there. They're right there. Not as scary as it is when you're way up high like that, but it's scary enough anyway. Oop, a little bit of a blip there. Alright, so it feels like gaming, man. Made it. First ever orbit. And all that. Still feels like you're flying sideways when you look up while the cloud's going that way. That's okay. We know we're not. We know we're not. Alright, now that should open. Ooh, this might be Highlands. You want to slow down a little more? Pretty please? Oh yeah, the batteries are on here. I don't know why I transferred that battery juice into the main canister. Just being paranoid, I guess. We didn't even have to use any of the capacitors. We barely even scratched the surface of the battery packs we took. Okay, we're going to let Gaming EVA, and hopefully he doesn't die. Alright, good. I don't really like doing that, but it's been working for a while. EVA report we're flying over Kerbals Highlands. This is the most precarious situation. Of course it is. Alright, get back inside there, buddy. Yay! So we're back inside. We're about 500 meters up because our parachute's only supposed to open at 500 meters, so I think the ground we're about to land on is about 500 meters off the surface. Can we do a crew report from here? Crew report. Ah, crew report, we're flying over Kerbals Highlands. You get a great view of the Highlands. Yes, we do. This is going to be a lot of science in this. It's going to be wonderful. Yeah, look at the moon from here. Now it looks like a basketball. I wish there was more dark texture rather than just the one clumpy texture that's on there. I wonder if I'll have to check the texture pack and see if that texture is like, if I can find a better one. I do not like this one like at all. It does not do it for me. But that is okay. All right, when we're touching down, boom, whoa, 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 boom, 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 done. Ha ha. A great man once said, "Get out." No, get out anyway. So we're gonna do some EVA report. We're gonna do some other stuff. Let's see, EVA report. I don't think his base suit was entirely necessary to get here, was it? No, it wasn't, but that's okay. We're going to take a surface sample, which gives us 9 more science. This is dirt and grass, and some small rocks. You suspect this isn't going to be much of a groundbreaking discovery. No, but, you know, you never know. They might find, like, a weird microbe in it or something. That would be totally awesome. Alright, I think from here the EVA report... no, that'll be fine. So let's go ahead and board. And that's that, and let's head back to the base. We'll recover our ship. Let's do that. Alright, let's check our data. Let's see, crew report while flying over Kerbals Highlands. We're going to have that for a lot of that. We're going to have like crew reports. And we have all these EVA reports. We didn't get the Badlands because the Badlands are very hard to find and to hit. We will have to do like a mapping thing in order to find all of those. But so far we did okay. You know, we got 90 science out of that. And we're now up to 96 science. So let's take a look at our science bay. As I like to call it, our science bay. Where we have 90 science to get our hands on something totally awesome, which is... the OX-STAT photovoltaic panels, the most important panels you'll ever find. And we could also do some of this stuff. Is that a solar panel? Single solar panel. Ooh. Oh. Okay, well here's the thing. Okay, oddly enough, for whatever reason, space exploration for this is a modification. This is from the Kerbal Satellite Orbiter or Kerbal Shuttle Orbiter, the KSO. These are some of the parts from it, and this is the space station parts. These are the space station parts, and so these are some very interesting, very wonderful parts that they have in here that I think should have been distributed to other locations in the tech tree and not just clumped together like this, because they have an auxiliary fuel supply. They have a, let's see, what else do they have? They have a station power module, which creates has a huge electric charge and some battery in it. A station service tug, which is a manable tug. Mobile processing lab, that's of course the stock part. And they have some docking ports, yes, square docking ports and then round docking ports. So they have some docking ports and stuff like that. I don't think, yeah, I'm not going to activate this one yet. We would get way too many over-the-top parts if we activated this, and I feel like that would completely screw up what we've done so far. I may even go in and like alter these and put them somewhere else, because this is not a good place for them. This is a very cheap and very bad place for these, because these are just like couplers and things like that that should be in completely other locations. So yeah, we're not going to take this one just yet, even though it does give us a thermiometer. Instead, we will go with what I was originally going to go with, which is going to be the reflectron antenna, as well as the, well, 2 reflectron antennas, a bunch of lights, some more capacitors, some more lights and battery, and of course the OX-stat photovoltaic panel, because we're just going to do that. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I may move these around. I like the station parts, I really do, and I want to build a space station. But the fact that they put in the very beginning the Kerbal lab, and then only at the 90 level they put every single other part, is just way out there. It's just too easy. Too easy, I think. And unfortunately with that we weren't able to get our hands on, oh yeah, we need 45 science to get our hands on a launch clamp, so that's going to be a thing. So it looks like we're going to have to extend our scientific adventures further into Kerbal space. Possibly. We could go to the moon, or we could go to the North Pole, or any number of other places to get like soil samples and things like that. So we may have to take a thought on that. Maybe a short trip to the North Pole. That'd be super fun. Oh, we didn't take a look at what gaming has done. Let's go ahead and take a, well, that's not going to work. Let's go ahead and back it up. Feels like gaming. We need to check your stats there, buddy pal. Let's see. Now you are down. Let's off far. Where'd you go? Are you dead? No. Feels like gaming. Where are you? No, he's got to be up here. I missed him. Left far. Feels like gaming. Oh, he's right next to Eric. Okay. So let's see what you got. Dangerous EVA ribbon, awarded for executing EVA while not in a stable orbit. Good job. G-Force 6, awarded for withstanding, yep, awarded for withstanding an acceleration of at least 6 Gs. This one seems to have like a pin on it when this one doesn't. Dangerous, oh okay, I see they're out of order. They're out of order, I see. Okay, and then we have a Kerbal Surface EVA ribbon, awarded for taking footsteps on Kerbal. First Kerbal Orbital EVA ribbon, awarded for being the first Kerbal on EVA in a stable orbit around Kerbal. There is your mission-specific ribbon. Awesome. First Kerbal Orbit ribbon, awarded for being first Kerbal orbiting around Kerbal. Wow, 2 firsts. Look at that. First and first. That's totally awesome. Alright, so that has been time. I know we only did 1 flight, but that flight did take up a lot of time, and it was a very successful and functional flight. And the next time around, I think we're going to go ahead and look into going towards the moon, but I do want to kind of stick around Kerbal a little bit. We'll have to see how that works. And I'll just take a little bit of time to look into that. But for now, we're going to go ahead and pause here. So again, I'd like to thank you all very much for joining me, 4KB Short, on this Let's Play of Kerbal Space Program with Kerbal Space Adventures. And I will see you guys next video.